Everyone, it's day 21, and I'm just here to give you guys your Dharma Daily for the day. No, this is actually, sorry, this is my walking video. Anyway, didn't really go for a walk, but just got home. Um, so I guess the biggest thing I'd say today is I recently, had a talk about boundaries. And so one of the biggest things that I was thinking about today is just kind of like how important setting boundaries are, but just how to navigate that because I think, what things are worth, kind of getting treaded on, like self respect, because self respect, I realize, like, it's probably one of the most fundamental things to everything else you have. And I think sticking up for that and like putting that on the line for other things, boosts your confidence and it gives you power with other things. But I think there are times though when you kind of have to put that aside because self-respect can very quickly become pride if you're not careful. Figuring out that line, it's tough. It's really tough. And I think for me, it just comes down to if someone I cared for was in this situation, what would I have them do? And, because I do care about myself and want what's best for myself, you know, I draw the line. And it was tough because there's this person who I really like and actually kind of admire, but they were being kind of moody and they were just, they made a couple mistakes with how they handled me, right? And I was pretty forgiving, like they were ignoring me and stuff. But then they went and it was while we were at work and they needed to get something done. And I guess I wasn't doing it very properly. But I'd had no indicator of this or anything like that. And they just kind of come literally out of like left field. I guess they were standing to my right. Anyway, they're standing next to me, and then they just talk like in this really condescending, rude manner. And it was tough because like in that moment, I didn't react. I kind of just let it sink in and let the person walk off. And then I just decided that I was like, so I can either let that go away or let it go. But like another point is like I need to set boundaries that they can't do this. Like they can't talk to me like that. And that was hard because you like and admire the person, but it gets a little easier when you're mad at them. So I tried to let it like go down a little bit. And I'm not so much mad at the person now, but it was tough because like setting boundaries is really tough. And I just don't know how to do it properly yet, frankly. I'm still learning a lot. Because at one end, it was just like, I tried not to react right away, but I kind of went and talked with them and said, hey, we need to talk later to them. And then they're just shaking their head, kind of being disrespectful. And I was like, well, you're going to need to find me. And they just keep shaking their head, being disrespectful. And that ticks me off because I'm like, here I am trying to reach out to you. And I asked them, like, what's wrong? What's going on, right? And they're just shaking their head and not giving me anything, like just being more, just kind of more attitude. So it's like, all right, I'm here trying to give you like an olive branch. You're giving more and more attitude. There's obviously something wrong. I don't know what more to do. So then I was just like, all right. And then I just said in an incredibly firm tone, do not ever talk to me like that again. I was just super like firm. But there was other people around and I think they kind of lost face a little bit. And I realized that now, like, okay, frick, like maybe I shouldn't have done it with that person there. But I didn't want to do it alone and make them not feel safe. Like I didn't want them to feel like they were in danger. But it's tough to navigate when like people won't communicate and they're stubborn. And like that's why a part of it is just like I don't deal with it. Like now I'm just like I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like this stress of like not knowing how to handle this and like getting disrespected. You know what I mean? And so it's just like it's this tough thing to do. And so I think like now it's just going on and ignoring it. But I think I have to make that conscious decision because what happened this first time is I was caught off guard. Like when they were speaking to me that way, I literally didn't know what to expect because there was no precedence for it. I'd never seen them speak to me or anybody else like that, and I hadn't done anything to kind of instigate that ire, at least from my understanding. So it was just super unprecedented, right? So it totally took me off of left field. And rather than reacting, like getting mad, I just tried to take a step back and think like, okay, what do I do here? And I think for me, like, it's really important for me to just establish boundaries and like, but not ignore. Because the thing is, I think like if you ignore it, then that just tells people that they can just keep doing it and that you're gonna do it. And because it's a workplace environment, if they rudely tell me to do something, on one end I want to do it and get the job done, but at another end I need to show the fact that they can't talk to me to get me to do stuff like that. So it's tough, and I don't want to be passive aggressive about it. So I was just really aggressive and kind of told them what was up. And I don't know if that was the best way to do it. We'll see here. But yeah, perception is everything, and that's one of the biggest things. Is like perception doesn't really work in my favor all the time, so I need to be smart about that. Anyway, that's my meditation, Year of Fear, day 21. The Dharma Daily will just be sometimes you have to be afraid to let go of the things that are holding you back.